This video is dedicated to the memory of David Crosby, 1941 to 2023. Good morning, everybody. We're going to continue the week of reviews with our look at CPR Live at the Wilturn. CPR is an offshoot of Crosby, Stills, and Nash, or was an offshoot, made up of David Crosby, Jeff Pevar, the electric guitarist, and James Raymond, David Crosby's son, on keyboards. And the band grew out of the newfound relationship between David and James, who David had a dalliance with James's mother back in the 60s, and James was put up for adoption. And then when David was going through his liver transplant, David and James connected, and shortly after David's successful surgery, and when David was back on his feet, they decided to start a band, and they called it CPR. And James has James's music is, I would say, heavily influenced by jazz and the music of Steely Dan. There's several songs on this record and CPR studio records that remind me of Steely Dan, and they recorded a show at the Wilturn Theater in Los Angeles in 1998, November of 1998 to be exact, and they released it as Live at the Wilturn on September 21st of 1999. And I have several favorites on this record. As a matter of fact, the whole entire record is fantastic, but my particular favorites are a song that was first written and recorded in demo format, I think around 1974, for a projected CSNY reunion album called Little Blind Fish, but David and James revived it for the CPR record and the CPR Live at the Wilturn record in kind of an acoustic format. And also one of James's songs that he wrote for his wife, called One for Every Moment. And as far as the the David songs, I like At the Edge and That House, which I believe is about David's days of being a chemical dump site, his word for being in the throes of drug addiction. And as far as the some of the non-CPR songs go, they also do renditions of 8 Miles High and Ohio, and a really, really long jazz-tinged version of Deja Vu that's really, really good. And they also do a song from David's album A Thousand Roads that was written by Mark Cohen, who, on a side note, I got to meet a couple years ago. when he was opening for Bonnie Raitt, and the song that CPR does is a song called Old Soldier, and I love that song. They also do a version of Long Time Gone that reminds me heavily as if B.B. King would do it, was covering it, right down to Uncle David's guitar playing, because it really has that B.B. King kind of feel. And they do a beautiful rendition of Delta. And throughout the show, David invited guests like Mark Cohen, Graham Nash, and Phil Collins to come play with them. And Phil Collins and David do a rendition of Hero, which is one of my favorites, which coincidentally Phil co-wrote. And they also do versions of Homeward Through the Haze, which is a Crosby and Nash song from Wind on the Water, which was, by the way, the first time that I had ever heard that song done live, and it was tremendous, of course. And they also do Almost Cut My Hair, and so it's a really well-rounded package. And the band for CPR, other than David, James, and Jeff, were Andrew Ford on bass and my good buddy Stevie D on drums. And like I said, they also had special guests Mark Cohen, Graham Nash, and Phil Collins. And so, by the way, if I neglected to mention, the album was released on September 21st of 1999. I hope you enjoy it.